Hello everyone, it's been 2 years and we're back. When I was browsing YouTube, I saw quite a few channels about dogs. They were filled with love and fun, so I decided to create this dog channel too. I imitated some bloggers and made a few ASMR videos, but the response wasn't very good. My dog didn't have that kind of camera presence and I wasn't very good at filming either. Neither of us was very photogenic and we didn't know what content to shoot. So, we stopped updating not long after, but today, we're back. This year, my dog Xiaoxiao is 8 years old. I've sorted through some of our old photos and videos and created a program to reminisce about the past 8 years of things that have happened with my dog. I want to share them with all of you watching. 8 years have been challenging and I hope that in the next 8 years, Xiaoxiao will continue to be by our side. 1 year old. Xiaoxiao was brought home by me from a second-hand market in 2016. At that time, Xiaoxiao was only 4 months old, but already larger than an adult small breed dog. Not long after Xiaoxiao came to our home, he entered his awkward phase and his face started to look like a monkey's. This little Samoyed was both cute and mischievous. When he smiled, it was like an angel, and I loved watching him smile at me. In the evenings, we would take him to the park, and a group of children would gather around him to play. It was a very happy time. At that time, we met a handsome Alaskan Malamute named Pang Pang, but we haven't seen him since we moved. In 2016, I was still single and lived with Xiaoxiao in a small 15 square meter apartment. The space was too small to fit a dog cage, so to prevent Xiaoxiao from tearing up my bed during his teething phase, I bought a simple fence. I was inside and he was outside, but as Xiaoxiao grew, the fence couldn't hold him back. When I was at work, Xiaoxiao would sometimes break through the fence and frolic on my bed. He even tore up the toilet in the apartment. Samoyeds have long hair and get hot in the summer, so I took Xiaoxiao to a man-made lake to swim. It was his first time in the water and he had a lot of fun. That autumn, during his first molt, I gently stroked Xiaoxiao one day and pulled out clumps of white hair. Curious, I used a comb to groom him for over an hour, pulling out enough hair to make a mini Samoyed. Once, when I had to go away for a while, I entrusted Xiaoxiao to a friend who also planned to get a dog. So, Xiaoxiao stayed with my friend for a while. I realized then that Xiaoxiao seemed friendly with everyone. When I said goodbye to him, he didn't seem sad at all. When Xiaoxiao turned 10 months old, his white fur had fully grown in, and he was at his most beautiful and handsome. His photo has been my phone wallpaper ever since. That winter, when it was time for the new year, I didn't have a car. So I hitchhiked a ride and took Xiaoxiao back to the countryside to celebrate the new year together. In 2017, when Xiaoxiao turned 1, I got married. We moved out of that small apartment and into a bigger place with 1 room and 1 living room. Since our new house hadn't been delivered yet, we rented this one. Now with more space, we got a doghouse for Xiaoxiao to give him a sense of security. It was a conventional iron cage that let hair through and easily smelled. So we splurged on a larger wooden doghouse, but it couldn't withstand Xiaoxiao's destructive behavior. Plus, the wooden doghouse didn't ventilate well and still smelled bad over time. Xiaoxiao, with his long hair, shed a lot, leaving dog hair everywhere on our clothes and floors. So, at my wife's insistence, we started a yearly grooming plan during his molting season. That year, we shaved Xiaoxiao completely bald. Although it felt a bit sorry for him, it was also quite funny to see how ugly our once beautiful Samoyed looked after the shave. However, Xiaoxiao's fur grew very quickly, and soon enough, its coat was back. I took it to a grassy field with few people to run and play freely. That winter, we had a heavy snowfall. Xiaoxiao, this little spirit of the snowfield, saw real snow for the first time. I took it to play in the snow and it had a blast. I even built a snowman shaped like a dog. Age 2. In 2018, we continued to live in this rented house. When we were away during the day, Xiaoxiao often got up to mischief at home, like tearing up its bed and rummaging through the trash. When I caught it, it looked so upset like a little child, making me laugh and cry at the same time. I love putting my feet on Xiaoxiao. It's so soft and comfortable. I particularly enjoy this furry feeling, and it's very warm too. As the weather got colder, I bought a small blanket for Xiaoxiao. Who knew I preferred biting and blowing on the blanket instead of using it as a mat? It had so much fun playing with it. It snowed again in winter. That time we happened to be back in the countryside with a vast space for Xiaoxiao to run wild and unleash all the energy of a sled dog. That day, I almost lost it. With its white fur against the white snow, it ran for a long time and far away, almost disappearing into the distance. I chased after it as it kept running. When I finally caught up to it, I realized it was looking for a female dog. That's when I knew Xiaoxiao was starting to go into heat. Later, on the doctor's advice to prevent Xiaoxiao from running away during its heat, we made the difficult decision to have it undergo a sterilization surgery. Xiaoxiao never found its testicles again. 3 years old, 2019, my wife got pregnant. The elderly members of our family didn't agree with keeping the dog, but I firmly stood my ground and resolved to protect Xiaoxiao to the end. To safeguard Xiaoxiao, ensure our baby's healthy growth, and avoid worrying the elders, we took Xiaoxiao to the pet hospital for a series of parasite checks, including toxoplasma, and adhered to monthly internal and external parasite control measures to ensure that Xiaoxiao was clean and free from parasites. Later, our baby was born smoothly, healthy, and adorable. On the night we brought the baby home, Xiaoxiao guarded the baby's bed for the entire night. After the baby was born, we finally moved into a new house that truly belonged to us. A 90 square meter space with more room and a cleaner environment. We bought a new dog bed for Xiaoxiao, but Xiaoxiao still preferred to lie under the coffee table or the dining table. Watching the baby grow up little by little, Xiaoxiao seemed a bit jealous. Whenever we held the baby and played with it, Xiaoxiao would also come over to seek attention. Four years old, in 2020, the baby started walking, so our walks changed from one person and one dog to 2 people and 1 dog, and then to 3 people and 1 dog. The baby often tried to play with Xiaoxiao, but Xiaoxiao didn't pay much attention to the baby. Whenever the baby ate, Xiaoxiao would keep guard and wait for any tasty morsels that fell from the baby's mouth. I also tried to guide the baby in interacting with Xiaoxiao correctly, teaching it not to pull its fur, but to gently stroke it. The baby and Xiaoxiao got on quite well, and Xiaoxiao's temperament was still very gentle. That year, our family of 3, along with Xiaoxiao, went camping at their local dog park, where we could let Xiaoxiao off the leash to play freely and run with other dogs. On that day, Xiaoxiao got tired from playing. I forgot to bring a water bottle, so I took it to the river to drink, and Xiaoxiao accidentally fell into the water. 5 years old, in 2021, my wife's job transferred her to a remote town, and we had to sell our original new house. We bought a bigger apartment, 140 square meters, in the town where my wife worked. The new house would be delivered in 2 years, so we had to rent a house again. Xiaoxiao followed us to the new place, and despite the change of environment, it still couldn't escape the annual haircut. The baby learned to ride a scooter, and Xiaoxiao would pull the scooter along for walks. One day, Xiaoxiao's ears weren't as clean as they should be and had a bit of an odor. After taking it to the hospital for a checkup, we found out that it had ear mites. We applied the prescribed ointment, and it recovered soon. That year, our family went to the sports park, found an empty space to camp, and took beautiful photos of Xiaoxiao. We discovered that when photographed in the sun, Xiaoxiao's white fur looked especially bright and beautiful. Sometimes the baby would take photos of Xiaoxiao with his phone. Most of their interactions happened during meal times because Xiaoxiao was a greedy dog. 6 years old, in 2022, Xiaoxiao's weight increased to 40 kilograms. After a walk, it would come back panting and spend most of its time at home lying down or sleeping. Xiaoxiao loved chasing cats and birds, although it never caught any of them. As the baby grew older, I often encouraged him to pet Xiaoxiao and take photos with it. One day, Xiaoxiao stole a bottle of milk and drank it by itself. When I found out, it felt guilty and avoided looking at me. 7 years old, in 2023, our big house was delivered and we moved again to a bigger and newer home. Xiaoxiao also had more space to roam. Apart from the daily walk and mealtime, Xiaoxiao spent most of its time at home lying down or sleeping. If I didn't go to find it, it could lie there for the entire day. Perhaps it was getting older and didn't want to move much. On one occasion, when we were in our rural hometown, Xiaoxiao was resting outside. Instead of lying at the front door as usual, it chose to lie beside my car. I'm not sure what Xiaoxiao was thinking, but I felt that it might be protecting me in its own way. In 2024, Xiaoxiao will turn 8 years old. 8 years have been challenging, but I hope that in the next 8 years, Xiaoxiao can continue to be with me and my family safely.